A separate retirement system, was set up for railroad workers by the Federal Railroad Retirement Act of 1935. Yeah. Mhm. Today, about 1 million workers are covered by this act. About 265,000 workers receive old age benefits. 92,000 receive disability benefits. Payments go to 375,000 dependents and survivors. Yeah. Could you get me the Federal Railroad Retirement Act of 1935? Oh, I emailed the Railroad Retirement Board. I emailed the Railroad Police. Yes, you did. I emailed the Amtrak Police. Yes, you did. I emailed them documentation of forgery, fraud, and kidnapping. Yes. Now, I specifically mentioned that Paul Douglas Budnick had been a employee of Burlington Northern for approximately 13 to 17 years until he was disabled. Yeah. Mhm. And I did that because I had done some research on the actual retirement of my deceased father, Paul Douglas Budnick. Now, he happened to have an uncle, Uncle Ray, and Aunt Sue that lived in Clallam County. Yes. And I just want to know, did my own father, the one-legged biker, yes, that could have had a drinking problem. I mean, he did die of cirrhosis of the liver. Yes. And might have had one of these narcotics problems where he liked to use a large amount of cocaine. Yes. Yes. Ever ride his motorcycle over here to Clallam County and decide to push on the badge of a sheriff? Now, Sheriff Joe Hall. He died 25 years ago. Sheriff Bill Benedict. Yes. Did you have any animosity against my deceased father because he might have ridden, yes, his motorcycle over here to see his Uncle Ray, decided to frequent one of the watering establishments, and you decided to ask him why his motorcycle was so loud? Oh. Now, he was a lot different than I am, yes, even though well, I didn't grow up in the culture, but I spent a lot of time in the motorcycle culture. Did my deceased father ever cause any sort of brouhaha? Now, of course, his grandparents were Elmer and Verna Holtz. Yes, my great grandparents. And Elmer died in 1973, and Verna died in 1979. I have the documentation. I thought I scanned it, and I was looking through the documentation yesterday. Now, until approximately the age of 9 years old, as a citizen, yeah. Did my deceased father ever ride his motorcycle to Clallam County and decide to cause a little problem with the sheriffs? Now, listen, big dog Terry. Is there any police officer in Port Angeles that has any knowledge of Paul Douglas Budnick ever disturbing the peace and being is there any individual in the county that has any knowledge of my deceased father?